Hey, y'all, I'm sneaking in here on a Sunday night. Yes, I am. I'm sneaking in here and I'm sneaking in here late. So it's like a late night express train, okay? Glad to see y'all in the building. Don't forget, hit the like button, okay? And listen, we got room on the platform here. If you never came through and you was always thinking about, you know what, I want to come up there and say something, join us. We got some room. Click the link pinned to the top and I welcome you in the building. But in the meantime, everybody, hit the like button. So tonight, Sunday night, trending topics is about neighborhood concerns. Yeah, the people in the local neighborhoods, they're concerned about some things. You know, we heard situations like this before, and I don't get it. I'm confused. Why are these bus drivers not taking 2.2 seconds when they end their shift to look on the bus and make sure that nobody is still on the bus? Somebody let me know. Why are they not taking 2 seconds to do that? It takes you 2 seconds when you open your door before you walk down them 3 little steps. I've been on the school buses before. Before you walk down those 3 little steps to figure out who's still on the bus, if anybody. But no, this school bus driver left the kid on the school bus. Now listen, the mother concerns me a tad bit. I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna try not to get on the mama. But the mama concerned me a little bit because the kid is only 9 years old. The kid was 9 years old, and the mother said she fell asleep. You fell asleep? She fell asleep and she didn't wake up until 7 p.m. Now, most schools at best by 3:30, I'll push it even later, maybe 4 p.m., all the kids are home from school. Whether they caught the bus, or the parent had to pick them up. So you fell asleep. You didn't realize your 9-year-old wasn't home till 7 o'clock. Then you rung the alarm. And you was like, have you seen him? Anybody know where he at? She called the bus driver. She called the police. She called her mama. She called all the neighbors and family and friends, and the older brothers and sisters went out to look for their brother also. And the brother found his brother on the bus and rescued his brother from the bus. Now, I'm going to leave mama alone for 2.2 seconds, but you don't go to sleep until you know where all your kids are at, okay? That's just a little tip from Diva, but I'll carry on. So we're going to talk about that. The kid was left on the school bus. Then we got this Pitbull in the neighborhood. Listen, hashtag neighborhood concerns. We got this Pitbull that is terrorizing one neighborhood. All the neighbors said they done reported this Pitbull. And the Pitbull is still living where he lives and terrorizing the neighbors. So this woman was in her house minding her business. She said she hears this scream. And she was like, oh my God, what's going on? And a Pitbull is attacking a kid. She goes out there to help the kid. And the Pitbull must have said, oh, okay, you want to help that kid? Well, now I'm going to jump on you. Then she starts getting attacked by the Pitbull. And nobody came to help her. Pitbull bit on the buttocks, bit on the face. And the last the neighbors know, they said the Pitbull's still living in the neighborhood. Where they do that at? It's messy. Come on, Bianca. Neighborhood, hashtag neighborhood concerns. Then our last story is about park rights. So this housing development, they finally got a park for their neighborhood, for their residents. They beautified the park. They made the park nice for all the residents there. But once they made the park nice for the residents, you know, there are some parks that are public parks. I mean, everybody, you're free to go there. And there's some parks that are, you know, belongs to the residents of that development. So they said this is their park, but the local schools and everybody else is coming to their park, but not only coming to their park, said they coming to their park and they acting like it's theirs and they trying to take over. So they want their park back. Hashtag neighborhood concerns. You got people in the neighborhoods that are very concerned about what is going on and they want someone to do something about it. Now we're going to try to have an express train tonight, y'all. Are y'all ready? If you ready, buckle your seatbelts because I'm about to load this train and get this party started. Like I said, we got some free spots tonight on the train. If you never came up before and you want to drop through and come up now, hit that link and come on in the building. But in the meantime, I got to load this train up. What do I need in the chat, people? I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Sunday night trending topics, and we're having an express train. It is hashtag neighborhood concerns. Yes, a kid yet again was left on the school bus and locked on the school bus because when the kids get locked, when the kids fall asleep on the school bus, they lock the bus up. So it's not like the kid could have got up and walked out and been like, oh my God, I was left on the bus. He was locked on the school bus. Like I said, if you're going to have animals, people, control your animals. Don't allow your animals to be terrorizing the neighborhood in which you live. And then we got park rights. Now go ahead. I saw somebody gave me my choo-choo. I'm going to go ahead and start to load this train up. Hey, in my opinion.
Hi, Diva. Choo-choo.
Choo-choo. Hey, Sebastian. Hey, Julius.
Choo-choo.
Choo-choo. Hey, Tay-Tay. So,
Hello.
hello. So listen, I'm going to go ahead and get right into this first story. You know, we're going to start with the story with the pit bull because this is very sad. And I feel bad for the young lady because all she tried to do was help the kid. Then she gets attacked and nobody came to help her. So hold on. Let me go ahead and share a screen. Let me see. All right, here we go.
As a March 2024 bride and a wedding planner, I'm always looking for ways to help myself and my brides save money on their wedding. And let's break down.
It would not stop until it killed somebody. That's it. It was not going to stop.
A woman speaking tonight to just one station after being dragged by a dangerous dog on the loose in a South Florida community. The dog went on the attack, hurting several others, including a child. Tonight, she's speaking exclusively with 7 News about the scary moments that left her scarred. Just after 4:30 p.m. Friday, 7 News cameras getting a glimpse of a pit bull believed to be behind an attack that sent 4 to the hospital and sent paramedics and police to converge on a Pembroke Pines home.
It looks like it's going to be 2 dogs. One is contained by the dog owner. The other one is uncontained. It's a white gray Pitbull.
7 Skyforce high above as people bitten were loaded onto stretchers. 4 people, one of them a child.
I don't feel safe in my community.
Imani Barrett is one of the victims, bitten in the face and the rear while trying to help the child.
I was working upstairs and I heard a blood-curdling scream.
That's when she went outside to find her neighbors and their twin boys. As the dog attacked the father, she tried to help.
As soon as the dog saw me, it completely took its focus off of him and lunged at me. I tried to run back towards my house, but it bit me on my left buttocks first, and it dragged me to the ground.
She was trying to get the dog away from the child, but ended up getting more dog bites herself, another on her backside, breast, and then
it got me on my face and it would not let go. It was pulling me on my face. I tried to get its jaws open and I was just screaming bloody murder. I was screaming for help.
After rushing out to help, she now had no one to help her.
I just thank God nobody died because it's like everybody, literally, I felt like I was fighting for my life.
Neighbors told 7 News they've complained to authorities about this very dog before, but say nothing has been done. Animal control on scene Friday. Broward County Animal Care telling 7 News the dog was taken away by Broward County Animal Care and remains in their custody while they conduct an investigation. Barrett and her concerned father want the dog gone for good.
I just ask for everybody to send prayers to us, and I just hope we can resolve this issue so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, the dog needs to go.
Yeah.
It's traumatizing everybody.
Yeah.
The dog needs to go.
It's still not clear tonight when exactly that dog was removed by Broward County Animal Care, but neighbors told 7 News they saw the dog on the property well into Friday night.
Okay, let me just show one more thing. Hold on one second.
It's officially time for me to start picking my wedding invitations, which I just can't even believe how fast the time is going. So I decided to.
And now at 7:30, multiple people attacked when a pit bull gets loose in a South Florida neighborhood. That dangerous dog sending animal control to the neighborhood.
7's Jack Royer has more on the scary situation.
Just after 4:30 p.m. Friday, 7 News cameras getting a glimpse of a pit bull believed to be behind an attack that sent 4 to the hospital and sent paramedics and police to converge on a Pembroke Pines home.
It looks like it's going to be 2 dogs. One is contained by the dog owner. The other one is uncontained. It's a white gray Pitbull.
7 Skyforce high above as people bitten were loaded onto stretchers. 4 people, one of them a child, one of them bitten on the hip and in the rear. That woman was Dale Barrett's daughter.
Because she came out and protect the kid.
She was trying to get the dog away from the child, but ended up getting the dog bite herself.
And she heard something my always said, and she reaction and try to scare the dog away from the kid, and the dog turned on her.
Neighbors saying they know of complaints made to the county about this dog before, but say nothing had been done.
Apparently there's been several bites in the past, in the last couple of years. Unfortunately, Broward County has not taken the dog. It was inevitable when they can't control and something that aggravates them.
This day, this dog got loose from a leash, neighbors say, leading to a painful Friday for the 4 victims.
She got a mark on her face, open wound, and he was trying to hold her and bit on the butt, bites on the butt. Same dog, same pit bull. This happened before.
Jack Royer, Today in Florida.
Now at 10, a young woman left unable to walk or talk after a horrific motorcycle crash.
Okay, so the dog is terrorizing the neighborhood, and people have complained about the dog before. In my opinion, your thoughts?
It's horrific, and I don't understand why they had to complain so many times that the dog running havoc through the neighborhood. And where's the owner at? If this dog keep breaking the chain, then you don't need to have them. If you can't control your dog, you don't need to have them. I think they need to do something to the owner of the dogs as well, because evidently they're not trying to contain this dog. This is a sad case.
It's very sad. And what's even sadder is she went out there to help these children. Where's the parents of the children that she was trying to help? And why, after the dog turned off the kids and turned on her, did nobody help her? Savannah, you're up.
It didn't have to be South Florida. Oh boy. Just some quick facts, because I am very familiar with this area in South Florida. In 19, I want to say about 91, 92-ish, pit bulls were a breed that was banned in South Florida due to an attack on a 7-year-old baby, a 7-year-old girl. This pit bull mauled her face, And so the government did ban that breed, and no one was allowed to own that animal. I had family members who owned that type of um, canine, and they had to get rid of that dog because South Florida banned um, pit bulls. However, in October of 2023, Governor DeSantis overturned the ban because there was pit bull support groups and other animal foster groups who said that pit bulls were being treated unfairly, and they overturned that law. And now it has been before. It was like because I remember seeing this on the news. It was like the first time in over 30 years that this breed is now authorized to be in any home, any community. And it also makes it illegal from any governmental public housing to ban dogs based on their breed, weight, size, or anything. So basically, the owner had the dog there legally according to the law. However, as a dog owner, you're supposed to be able to control your animal. That's still an animal, and it's still it is not deemed property. I believe because, and I haven't, I don't know much of the story. I'm gonna do a little research. However, I believe because of the law and because of this breed, that's one of the reasons why they didn't take the animal, and so many complaints. Um, and it's so unfortunate. I really hope that they find some retribution for all the victims that were there, and that the dog be put down, unfortunately, and the family be removed from the property.
Yeah, the owner needs to pay. And like the people said, oh, they want to claim they came and got that dog, but the people in the neighborhood said they saw the dog as late as this Friday, the week of the attack that happened. That dog should have been taken away the day of the attack. 4 people and a child. Tay, you're up.
The owner should be responsible for this right here, because I got a story about this right here. It was a little girl. She got attacked by a dog here in Valdosta. Her face was like probably with the eyebrow right down to her cheek, something like that. And then she don't want her mom like people stare at her. You know what I mean? Because that baby right there, it was traumatized by that right there. It just, and then my old boss, her dog got attacked by a neighbor dog. One of them is a girl dog. She was pregnant. It was covered in blood, and then she hear her dog was crying, and she said she want to kill. I mean, I don't like that dog for did that to her dog right there, because she wanted, because that's her babies right there. Because people love their animals so much like their child right there. I say, yeah, get that person and put them in jail and lock the key.
I know that's
Because
right.
that don't make no sense. You should know your dog been in trouble in the past when they have the complaint about your dog. You should be responsible for this. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you, Tay. Julius, you're up.
Get rid of the dog. Euthanize it.
Oh my gosh.
And sue the homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
I was bit by a pit bull when I was 14. But because my cousin was dating the owner's daughter, my parents were going to sue. But for me, they didn't. I didn't want no stress to come from my cousin, even though my parents had every right to sue. But I tell this lady, sue and have the dog be taken to be put down.
Yeah, this is sad. It's very sad. Thank you, Julius. Sebastian, you're up.
You see, many states have banned these dogs and have banned, unbanned, and are now currently in limbo about these dogs. Pit bulls are vicious. They're violent. They are breeded to be violent. They're made to be violent. Yes, you can have them in the house. You can have one as a pet. You know, touch it, feel it, do whatever you want with it. But don't be shocked if one day it turns on you.
Oh my gosh.
Don't. This is why actual countries ban the American people from entering certain of their territories. This is a very dangerous breed. I feel for this woman because I remember the town above one of the towns the town above the town I went to high school in. There was a situation where a pit bull mauled a friend of mine's friend's sister. And I think she was only 11. And she passed away. So I'm sorry with this. Clearly, he was gonna kill me when I say what I'm about to say. Clearly, they need to euthanize this bitch. They need to euthanize it. It's out of control. It's out here biting all over the place. They need to euthanize it. Put it down. Put it down. If the dog is becoming like this, put it down. And if you can't put it down, the neighbors might as well use their Second Amendment and put it down themselves. Cause I'm not playing these games when your animal is attacking me, harming my children. No, absolutely not. You better put that dog down, or those neighbors will have to put it down themselves.
Whew. Mama Misha, it's the owner, and I do believe this too. It's the owner and the way the dog is raised. I really, really do believe that. And you know, that's why everybody hit the like button, purchase your ticket if you're going to ride this train. Well, Bianca, it's nice to see you up here. What are your thoughts on this story?
Happy Sunday, everybody.
Happy Sunday.
So, I work in property management, and I had a situation where a pit bull, unfortunately, attacked the toddler, and the results didn't come out too well. I'll say that. So, from being in that situation, I completely agree with the panel. The owners of the dog should most definitely be responsible, and that dog should have been put down immediately. There's no reason to keep such a vicious animal out to attack or harm anyone else. So I don't understand why the dog wasn't captured on site.
Especially if the news saw the dog roaming around in his house still chilling, and we're loading up people in the ambulance because the dog done attacked and bit them and all that kind of stuff. It's totally insane. That owner needs to be charged with something.
Most definitely. They need to be charged with a whole lot, and I think that they should be put out of whatever neighborhood they're in. They should be forced to leave. Because now at this point, you're a menace to society because you see the damage and the harm that your animal is causing, and you're still continuing to let your animal just roam freely to do this to other people. So something is wrong with you, and you should be responsible for your dog, and you should have some type of repercussions.
I agree with you. Absolutely. Special K, welcome in the building. Glad to see you came out. What are your thoughts on this story?
Woo. Diva,
Mm-hmm.
this story is kind of. First, let me say, hey, everybody, I'm brave tonight. I'm so brave.
Right.
Kept your promise, girl.
I kept my promise to you. I love
Hey,
you.
Special K.
Hey, Diva, if I didn't love you, girl, I wouldn't be up here.
Well, welcome. It's a good night to come. Sunday night. Listen.
Yes,
Mhm.
but this is what I wanted. This story right here is near and dear,
Wow.
not because of this particular dog, but I lost a friend last year for the same accident. A dog, her brother's Pitbull, attacked her mother.
Wow.
So she went to help her mother, and the dog turned on her. She had all kind of complications, and she survived for I say about 5 to 6 months, and she ended up passing away. So it's kind of hard. She was a respiratory therapist, so we were super close, and it's just a sad story. So I'm totally against the dog running around free. I'm just against it. I think pit bulls are just it's all in how you raise them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you raise them to be vicious and do the things that they're doing, they're gonna do it. They're gonna turn on you. I mean, you can't get people to understand that or see that. But this right here is just it's still fresh. So that's
Yeah.
it. I'm
Yeah.
over that.
Yeah. My condolences. I wonder with the guy in the neighborhood, could he not have called his dog and the dog would have stopped? Usually dogs, will listen to their owner. This is so incredibly sad. I just, can't imagine how you're going to be afraid to go into your own apartment in your neighborhood where you live and you're paying rent. And I believe I'm following your suit on this, Bianca. He got to leave the neighborhood. Take the dog and take him, because what's going to happen is he's probably only going to get another dog.
Yeah.
Messy. And Sebastian said pit bulls have huge jaw and very strong teeth, sometime in lots. That's why she says she was trying to grab and open his mouth off her face. Probably if she didn't, he would have bit a chunk of her face out.
Exactly. And her buttocks.
Yeah, he's a terror. We're going to roll right into the next story. I think the next story that I'm going to go into is right into the story with the school bus situation. Like I said, I'm going to cut the mother some slack, but I was giving the mother a side eye, because I'm like, how you don't wake up and realize that your child is missing until 7 o'clock at night? It just didn't make sense to me. But okay, it was still wrong. Doesn't, negate the fact that this bus driver was wrong. But at the same time, I'm like, girl.
Like, I feel like my son shouldn't have to go through that. My baby is 9 years old. He's traumatized. He doesn't want to go to school. Like, I feel like my son shouldn't have to go through that. My baby is 9 years old. He's traumatized. He doesn't want to go to school. He's afraid to even get back on the bus.
Deshonda Bennett says her 9-year-old never made it home from school Wednesday on his own. Instead, she says her older son found the child inside a school bus around 9:30 that night.
Well, I feel like the school failed us. It was my child who found my baby.
Bennett says her son got on the bus Wednesday morning with his 14-year-old sister. The child attends Detroit Service Learning Academy. Mom says the boy made it to school and then after school got back on the bus to come home. She says he's usually home around 3:45, but she says that day she fell asleep. It wasn't until 7 in the evening that she realized the child was nowhere to be found. So she started frantically calling everyone and anyone, including the bus driver.
The bus driver didn't even come here. He never even came here. He told me that my son did not get on the bus, which means he never knew that my son was even back there asleep. That's what makes me think that he did not do his walkthrough. Because if he did his walkthrough and sanitized his bus, he would have saw my son back there asleep.
So he never even came because he'd never realized that your son actually got on the bus?
Exactly.
Bennett says her teen daughter saw the 9-year-old get back on the bus to to head home.
But she kept stressing to me, Ma, I put him on the bus. I put him on the bus.
Bennett called the school, police, her family trying to find her baby.
The police didn't find my child. The school didn't know where my son was. My son's brother and grandmother found my son sleeping on the bus at 9:30.
He was asleep. I was banging on the window. He woke up. He was wiping his eyes, looking around. He just started crying. And I got on that bus a million times because I went to that school before. And I knew it was a hatch up there, so I just grabbed and opened the hatch.
That's right. The child's 16-year-old brother says he pulled the boy from the bus through a hatch. Detroit police confirmed this sequence of events.
It takes the police and it takes the community acting together. In this situation, my officers collaborated with the grandmother. The grandmother went to one location while the officers were handling business here.
You also believe that your officers did everything correct?
They were empathetic. They followed policy, and yes, sir, yes, ma'am.
I asked the Service Learning District Superintendent D'Angelo Alexander if this bus driver is on leave or if this person is still working. No word on that, but he told us in writing that this has never happened before, adding, quote, "We are addressing this matter with the staff involved. Additionally, we will be conducting a thorough review of our policies and procedures to ensure that our practices are aligned with the highest standards in the transportation industry," end quote.
I just don't know what to do, but I cannot let this slide. I can't.
Hillary Golston, Fox 2 News.
Messy. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Now this is crazy. I don't understand for the life of me how nobody knew that boy was on the bus. How nobody took. From what I was ever told, the school bus was supposed to make all stops, no matter if the person was on the bus or not. You still supposed to make those stops at every house. I just don't understand how this bus driver left this little boy asleep on the bus and didn't know it. This is a travesty. I don't even understand how the police officers, that wasn't the first thing that they searched. The first thing they should have searched was the school and the school bus. I just don't understand how none of this is possible. He comes to my son. They went to one location while the grandparents went to another location. That's not how the police work.
Come on now.
When do the police ask you to do their job for them? It's a lot going on in this situation, and it's a lot that's missing from this story. I don't like it at all. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't even like the fact that she fell asleep and didn't wake up until 7 p.m. and notice he was missing. But I guess
how he was gonna get in and cook him a snack and all, do his homework and everything. Like, be a mama.
Yeah, that part. Savannah, you're up.
So this is failure all the way around, and everyone should take accountability from, because what I saw was a mother, and was that a brother? Because that also brother. Looked like someone that could have been waiting there at the bus stop or sounded the alarm way earlier than 7, 9 o'clock, whenever someone realized that this child was missing. So while the school and the bus driver has a mountain of responsibility and culpability in this story, so does the mother and the family in general. How could you not know that your child is not home by 5 o'clock? A parent, if you expect your child home at 3:30 and it's already 4:15 and your child's nowhere around, there should be some calls being made. There's also a protocol when a school bus driver parks their bus. And I know I've seen videos on this. Depending on how small this child is, did he fit under the bus? Under the seats? Because the old school buses and those seats, a small child could fit. And I saw this on like a 2020 or something. That a small child could fit under those seats, making it impossible for a school bus driver to physically see him. However, it's clear that the school bus driver failed to do their proper protocol, because they're supposed to walk the entirety of the bus, both front and back, and look under seats, and even in the crevices of these seats where small children can seemingly fit. So it's complete failure all around. And if there ever was a case for CPS to get involved, I think this would be one of those cases.
I hate to say I agree with you. 7 p.m. you fell asleep. You're not concerned where your kids are. And I think so her other kids go to school too. So we don't know what time the brother get home, but apparently nobody's looking for nobody, because you wouldn't wake your mother up and say so-and-so's not home from school yet. Or were they even home yet? Who knows? This whole thing is a mess, but I do think we need to do a check and figure out what's going on. She said she fell asleep, but that's all I could say to that. Tay, you're up.
Every bus driver knows the routine. Where you drop the kids off? What time you had to pick them up from that place? For the bus stop? That's how it was way back those days. My question is, did somebody train this person? Because every driver is trained people. They wrote every note on the paper. You have to drop off this right here. Drop off that right there. Yeah, that don't make no sense right there to me, dude. Something ain't clear in the wars and over there. I got therapy. I'm just getting the mama side and the bus driver side. I'm just getting the both side right now. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Yeah, we giving side eyes. Julius, you're up.
Where is the monitor? And I seen that was a minibus. I was on those in my educational journey, and there was always a monitor present. But even the bus driver was always looking back to make sure they have the mirror right above their seats to inspect. Even when the monitor was out, the bus driver was always looking in the mirror. Why did that driver not inspect? I can't understand why that. And I want to make this clear. My heart breaks for that child. Because he was the wrong person in this situation. And I don't know what the mother does for work or if she was working. But why did you immediately not call the police when you didn't see your son a certain time? Or why didn't you call the bus company? Everybody got phones. The adults dropped the ball on this situation. Shameful.
And so did the police. Okay. All right. Listen. Sebastian, you're up.
This boy was failed by everyone who should have been protecting him. His mother, the bus driver,
come on now,
and the police. All three of them, a triangle of failures. I don't understand how people can just ignore children. Like, especially when you're working with them, or you have them, or your job tells you that you should be protecting them. How did this happen? One, we have a bus driver who's careless and is not really doing their job. Two, we have a mama out here who probably looks at her kid as an object, because I don't know how the hell did you not notice your kid was not in the house at a certain time. Your child, who's supposed to be in the house at 3, 4 or something, 3:30, 4:30, if he's in sports, 6 p.m. max. I don't understand how. I honestly don't understand this. You see, CPS needs to get involved. She should face some charges too for neglect. This is too much. The police, shame on you. Your job is to protect the community. serve the community, enforce the law in the community, and you fail this boy, having him say in this bus for no, this is disgusting. Shame on everyone in this. Shame on all the adults in this. Shame on them.
All the adults. And I was just thinking to myself, well, what time do they eat dinner?
Maybe they don't eat dinner.
Oh, good gosh. All righty. Thank you, Sebastian. I appreciate
And
you.
also, I'm going to
Yes.
say this. Do a talk screen on the mother too.
Mm. Thank you, Sebastian. Bianca, you're up.
The bus driver, the mother, and the police all need to be up for questioning, in my opinion. The bus driver, because there are certain protocols that you have. So if you were supposed to go to certain stops, then you were supposed to go to certain stops regardless. Not only that, at this point, at this time, you get familiar with your passengers. So you know these students. And if you know you saw this child get on the bus, there's no way that you can tell me that you didn't notice that he didn't get off.
Come on now.
There's absolutely no way. So you need to be fired because you dropped the ball somewhere. And I would hate for you to do this for other children. And I wouldn't be surprised if you've done it before and we just haven't heard about it.
That part.
Now, the mother, there's no way. Listen, I want to be a mom so bad. There's no way that I'm not going to be up with all the things that's going on today in this world, that I'm not going to be at that bus stop when my kids get off that bus.
Come on now.
I need to make sure that my children are safe. So for you to say you fell asleep, that's a problem. But not only did you fall asleep, your mom and your son, your eldest son, had to go and search for your child. The conversation would have been, Mom, can you come over here and watch the other kids real quickly? I'm just assuming that there's not a father in the home. So there was nobody else there to pick up the slack. So I would have been like, Mom, can you come over here real quick? And it would have been my feet to the ground.
Come on.
For my child. And if my eldest son wanted to go, then yes, let's go. Because essentially you led the way. So I got a problem with her there. And the police, again, like someone else mentioned, I can't remember who it was, but why was that not the first place that you guys checked?
Come on now.
If the child wasn't quote unquote on the bus, then the first place we should have went to was the school. And the buses have to return back to the school at the end of the day. So the first place that y'all should have checked was the school, then the bus immediately. Why did it take so long for y'all to find this child? So I feel as though all three of them are up for question at this point. What's y'all motives? Was y'all working together? Like, what's going on? Because some don't sound right here to me.
That part, the first place you will look was the school. And then even when the brother found him, you had to climb up on top of the bus and open up the release thing and pull him out.
Come on. That's insane.
It's insane. Because they could have got hurt. He could have got hurt climbing up on the bus to do that. And they could have got hurt however they got down once he did pull him out. That is crazy.
When the police should have been the people who did it in the first place, because you guys are trained for this, right?
That part.
Confusion.
So much confusion. So much confusion. Yeah. First of all, a good mother can't have a deep sleep until everyone in the house is home. You better talk about it. It's ridiculous and something's off. Something is off. She's just trying to act like she went to sleep. I don't know about all of that. And like I said, the other kids couldn't have been home because are they used to everybody not really being home? Because you wouldn't wake your mother up and say he never got home from school. Special K, you're up.
Diva. I agree with everybody before me, probably after me, everybody in the chat, and especially Bianca, because I'm the same way with Bianca. I don't have any children, but I do know this. A mother's instinct seemed like it should have kicked in. I mean, I come from that generation where your mother didn't go to sleep. It wasn't a nap. It wasn't none of that until all her children are home. There was no staying after school. None of that, because you had to be at home at a certain time. Even if you were participating in activities, you still, she clocking you, and she's going to be there to pick you up. Or as Bianca said, you're going to be at the bus stop and you're going to ask, where's my child? If that child does not get off that bus, you're going to be back at that school. You're going to go down to the school district. You're going to go everywhere you need to go to find your child. I mean, it's no going to sleep. I'm still stuck at she's sleep. Not to mention she come on camera with the bonnet on. Okay. So that right there speaks volumes, right? I mean, I'm just that type of person that your presentation is everything. It told me everything when I seen her with her bonnet and her standing up there on camera. And she just didn't strike me as a mother that really, really cared or concerned, because it sounds like to me the other kids are the parents in the home, because they had sense enough to go and look for their sibling, and you are still asleep to 7 p.m. You didn't say you fell asleep while cooking dinner. You didn't say you fell asleep because you got off work at 5 or anything. You just said you taking a nap. Well, I need to know, what does she do for a living? How is she maintaining this household? Because it sounds like the other siblings are raising that child.
Come on, sis.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Something's amiss. Something's definitely amiss. And somebody call Monique the comedian, because she would have fell out with girlfriend sitting on that news station with her bonnet on her head. Katrina, you're up.
Okay, one thing I think I missed the beginning because my service went out. How old is this child?
9.
9. So did he fall asleep on the bus on the way home?
He must have fell asleep on the bus on the way home, but then I guess when he realized, because the bus door was locked, he was locked in the bus. So it's not like he could have got out, but maybe thank God he couldn't, because I don't know exactly where the bus was parked at. If the bus was parked at the school, or, there are some bus yards where all the buses go at the end of the day. Not sure where the bus was parked at, but thank God the brother, because obviously just to back up for 1 second, the cops was like, we was at the station doing stuff at the station. A child is missing, sir. Get your boots on the ground. And you let the parents and whoever go look for the child. I think that police station didn't give a darn. But
don't they say they have to wait like 48 hours or something like that?
Not for a 9-year-old.
Okay, but this is the situation right here with the with the bus driver. All bus drivers are supposed to do a sweep before they get off the bus. So was this bus driver new? Because all bus drivers are supposed to do a sweep to make sure everybody is off the bus. Because I remember it was a case in Alabama, was a handicapped child was left on the bus, and he didn't do a sweep, but there was a lawsuit against that. But all bus drivers are supposed to do a sweep before they get off the bus. And then there's another thing with the mom. Okay, your child is not home, but you're sleeping. So this is the case of the kids raising themselves. Because you're not raising them if you sleeping to 7 o'clock. The kids get out of school at 3:45 to 4 o'clock. So where's their dinner? Where's their lunch? I mean, not their lunch, but where's their dinner? Where's their afternoon snacks? Where's all this? And you're not worried. You're not concerned. You're not concerned because your kids be out in the streets like this all the time. That's why you wasn't out there looking for them, because they come home probably when they want to come home. And another thing is, like what you said with the police officer, why didn't y'all go out and search for this child and see where this child was at? I'm not saying it's a color thing, but why didn't y'all get yourself together and go do this? Normally you do an Amber Alert. Y'all didn't do anything. And what if this child had like a illness or something that they need their medicine at a certain time? Y'all didn't check that, none of that. I mean, it's so many things that could have happened in that certain amount of time. Maybe that child would try to bust through a window and go out the window and cut himself. It's a lot of things that could have happened when they didn't do what they were supposed to do in the first place. And I bring it all the way back. I blame the bus driver, but I bring it all the way back to the mom. Because when I was raising my kids,
girl, they be sleeping. I get up and see if they breathing while they sleeping. I'm serious. Y'all
You
laughing,
know,
but I'm
I've
totally
done that. I've
serious.
done that. I've done that. Soon as you see them move, you go back and lay
Yeah,
down.
go back to sleep, girl. I'm waking up making sure I'm like, are my children breathing? You know what I'm saying? You know, I wake up and see if they breathing to make sure they breathing. So there's no way. This is the case of a kid. These kids is raising themselves. And that's a sad situation. I don't know what time. Maybe her job, she works at night or something. I don't know. And maybe she have the old ones watching. But baby girl, I blame the bus driver. I blame the police officer, but I also blame you because these kids been doing this for a while. That's the reason why you wasn't concerned until he didn't come home until somebody woke you up. That's the reason why you was concerned then. And now you out there saying all this type of stuff because you know how bad this look. So now you trying to place it on the bus driver when it really placed on you because you should have made sure your child was at home in the first place. That's all
Yeah.
I got to say.
No, I appreciate you, Katrina. Amy F. So
How a nap take 3 hours though, Diva?
Child, listen.
Aren't they supposed to be 30 minutes to an hour?
Listen.
That's going to bed.
Amy F. So I tread it lightly because Amy said, I know, but this isn't a mom's fault. The bus driver is to blame. The bus driver is to blame, but the amount of hours that lapsed while the bus driver forgot and the mother realized her kid wasn't home is questionable. And she's lucky nothing happened to her kid. The bus driver is lucky, but she's lucky too. Because if my kid's bus is supposed to come at 3:15 and now it's 3:30, I got a cause for concern. And so the bus drivers, at least when my son was going to school, they do have cell phones, but of course, nobody's supposed to answer their phone while they're driving. But I was able to call the school. And even when my son started driving to school, I was like, if you about to go get a piece of chicken, a biscuit, or whatever, and you not coming straight home, you need to let me know. Because by a certain time, I knew his key was supposed to be in the door. And if it wasn't, I was calling in the text and be like, where you at? He's like, Mom, I'm good. I just stopped to get this, or there's some traffic. So, and many of the people might have said on the panel, when you do have kids, you not sleep until you know your kid is in that house. And you could be.
And don't buses have cameras now? I'm sorry, Diva, but don't they have cameras on the buses now?
Not all of them. Not all of them.
Okay, they don't have the cameras. No. But I'm saying, I know. Listen, it is the bus driver fault, but it's the mom fault for not doing her motherly duties. Yes, the bus driver should have made sure the child was off the bus. We understand that, and we're not going against what you're saying. But we're saying is the mom should have followed up to see why her child wasn't at home. This is a 9-year-old child. You should have made sure your child is at home. Maybe you got a night job and the oldest ones watch the children whatsoever. But still, in reject, you're not comfortable sleeping unless you know your child is at home. Unless your child been doing this all along. That's the only way I can see this. And I'm not saying she a bad wife. Well, anyway, like I said, I would have made sure my child was at home. A 9-year-old, that child is only in 4th grade. So you should make sure that child was at home.
She doesn't care? Have y'all thought
That's
that
all I
maybe
got.
she just doesn't care?
Huh?
Have y'all thought that maybe she just doesn't care?
I agree, Sebastian.
We gonna move on and leave her be. Let me roll into the last story. So the last story is, I understand it. I'll put it that way. I understand it, right? Some parks are public, some parks are private, but I understand where these residents from this housing development is coming from. So let's go ahead and share screen and get right into this story. So tension at a full swing at the posh prep school kids moving on newly beautified public housing playground. Let me just pause that. So the war of the concrete jungle gym has erupted on the Upper West Side. Tensions are in full swing at a playground on West 90th Street between Amsterdam and Columbus Avenues as housing project residents battle to keep private school families, including those from the posh $64,000 a year Trinity School, out of their newly renovated playground. Once they redid the playground, everybody and their mama started coming, said Cheryl Russell, 62, a 13-year resident of the sprawling Stephen Wise Towers. They let me pause this. They give these looks like we're the visitors, she told the Post. The nasty tug-of-war escalated last week when signs forbidding non-residents from Catzone Playground, also known as Llama Park, for its collection of concrete horses, often mistaken for llamas. Can't you read? Angry residents have shouted at park goers, referring to the new and often ignored signs. One nanny said a resident yelled at her, "You tell the other nannies that y'all can't come here either." Residents contend they have a right to restrict access. They say the rich kids disrespect residents in the space, which was renovated earlier this year after a private management company took over the New York Housing Authority property in 2021. I heard kids in several cases, "Oh, I can't play with you because you're black," or "Why are you in my park?" said Russell. Some people have gotten too comfortable, she said, letting their kids run through and even pee in the garden because there are no public bathrooms. That resulted in a neighbor temporarily hanging a sign that read, "Curb your child," she said. They beautified the place. Why can't we keep it that way? Russell said. Some tenants say more often outsiders than residents fill the park some days. It's okay if you want to come, but don't monopolize, Russell added. We love all kids, but treat everybody the same, another longtime resident, Beverly, told the Post. So that's their little beautified area there. She once witnessed a resident tell a man it was against the rules to have a dog in the park. The man turned around and said, "Shut up, you B," Beverly said. The police were even called to the location twice regarding disputes, but no arrests were made, according to sources. The NYPD could not give specifics on the incidents. On May 24th, before the official sign went up, someone taped to the gate closed and hung up flyers saying, "This park is for Wise Tower residents only. This is not a public park." So they put a sign up. So though there has been confusion over whether the park is public, the residents appear to be within their rights to limit access. The playground is not under jurisdiction of the City Parks Department, according to officials. NYCHA campuses are private property, a spokesman for the authority told the Post, adding that Wise Tower residents have expressed concerns about access to the playground and treatment of the new equipment. We support Wise Towers residents and their desire to restrict use of the space to residents of the development and the property manager signage to notify non-residents that the courtyard is not a public space, he said. The Trinity School previously had an agreement to use the space for kindergarten classes in recess, the West Side Rag reported. But in a May 28 email acquired by the outlet, the school announced it would not be using the grounds any longer. "We are suspending our research play for the time being," wrote Principal Christian Crawford. "I suggest families also suspend playing there after school and over the weekends." And Upper East Side Hebrew School had to stop using it as well, according to parents. And the kids wrote some letters. "Dear board, we really, really want to play in your park. Please, only be there till June 20th. Dear board, we really want to come play in your park." Saddened school kids sent letters to the board begging to come play in the park. "Everyone is just surprised and devastated," said the Upper West Side mom, Myra G. "It was kids from everywhere," she said. "It's Manhattan. We integrate. We play together. It doesn't matter what school, where everybody lives, and what religion or race is. I understand both sides, but I would hate to see this place get shut off to the community," said David Owens, a dad of two who lives nearby and had visited the park for over 50 years. "You want to bring the community together? Playgrounds are what do that. Whew. It's messy. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Okay, first of all, if they want a playground for everybody, they need to chip in, okay? And go to the board and say, hey, look, we want to build our own playground. How much it's going to cost? You need to chip in your money. Here's the thing. When you come on private property and you damage it, those tenants are the ones that's paying for that. Whenever they remodel something, those tenants are getting a cost increase on their rent for them to have that stuff. So for you to feel like you have so much respect and demand that, hey, even though we paying for these services, we can come over here and tap y'all stuff and y'all can go up on y'all rent and fix this stuff and we don't have to worry about it. No, if you want one in your area, you want something nice like that, then go to your board meetings. Go talk to your council members, your mayors of your town and get them to put you one there. But don't go and crouch on somebody else's space that they are already paying for. That is so disrespectful.
I appreciate you. In my opinion, I agree with you. And that school is $64,000 a year. They can't build a playground or a nice gym. Something ain't right. Savannah, you're up.
So I'm going to take a different perspective on this story because nothing brings a smile to my face more than seeing a playground full of children. You know, we complain that they're always in the house on video games or on the computer or not engaging, socializing, and having them freely outside and play and be amongst other kids in any community. Because I know I go visit other communities and play in other community playgrounds as well with my grand. But I think that maybe there can be a happy medium in this story. I think having some community leaders come in and negotiate some type of understanding or I just really think we need to let the kids play. I understand about, you know, it belonging. Is it private property? I didn't catch that from the story.
It is private property. It's not part of the
It is.
parks. It's private property. And let me tell you this. If the private property, and I'm not trying to throw smoke in the game here, but if the private property was on someone else's property, those kids from that housing project would not be allowed.
That's true. That is correct. Okay. So I missed that part of the story, so I apologize whether it was private property or not. But in Manhattan, as you know, Diva, you see those areas full of children, especially during this time of year. They're all out there playing, and they have those water sprinklers in the ground and things like that. So I just want to see children outside playing. So whatever medium or negotiations that need to be done, I agree need to be done. If they have to build one for them, then they can. They have the means to do it. I just think restricting them from it, it's borderline discrimination in some way.
It's messy, but when your school is $64,000 a year, I'm feeling like I've been in some schools that there's money that come into school. And I've been in these schools as a result of my son playing basketball. And some of these gyms where these schools are money is amazing. You can see where the money is at. The gym is amazing. They got a swimming pool. They got all kinds of stuff at this school. So I think that this particular school, y'all ripping off the parents. If y'all can't build a nice gym and a nice outdoor area, when for one kid, you're getting $64,000 a year. Now, I do know that space in New York is limited. I don't know how big or small that school is, but I do know one thing, they need to do better. I also know of another school where they didn't have said gym area and all of that. And what they did was they partnered with different businesses that have either gymnastics, that have dance, that have all different kind of stuff. And that was a part of your school tuition. And they partner with these particular facilities so that the kids had somewhere to go. But I do, like I said, I hear both sides here, but at the end of the day, Private is private. Sebastian, you're up. And yes, you know what, Miss B, I'm gonna call you. They did say one of the kids said, I can't play with you because you black. So now the kids live in the residence, they got a part, and you want to have somebody coming in there telling you in your part that they can't play with you because you black. Sebastian, you're up.
Y'all not gonna like me, but it's gonna be a fine. This housing complex, to my knowledge, I searched it up. It is taxpayer funded. It's a subsidized housing complex. Last time I checked. It's in Manhattan near the Trinity School. Yes, the Trinity School is very expensive. It's very prestigious. That is true. Yes, there are white kids that go there, but there are black kids as well. There's brown kids that go there too. You know, New York City is a very diverse city. But I'm gonna have to be honest about this. It's a taxpayer-funded housing complex. That means this park is taxpayer-funded. Therefore, this is in my eyes and everything I'm looking at, this is a public park. This is a public park. Children have every right to play wherever they want to play. Yes, some can be little a-holes and say horrible things, like you mentioned how one kid said that I don't want to play with you because you're black and stuff. Yeah, some kids are a-holes, and some kids are taught to be a-holes like that and racist. But the reality is these are children, and they should be able to play wherever the hell they want to play. This is, yes, it's private property, but it's taxpayer private property. Therefore, it should be open to the public. I remember seeing these things. I remember there's like...
Sebastian, I'm going to let you finish, but let me just remind the people what this article said here. They said the rich kids disrespect residents in the space, which was renovated earlier this year after a private management company took over the New York City Housing Authority property in 2021.
And subsidized does not mean government. It means that they can take government official stuff like Section 8, stuff like that. It doesn't mean it's paid by the government. The government is not paying for everybody housing over there.
Okay, but you're saying it's subsidized. So if it is subsidized, therefore there is some funds that come from the government that goes to said housing.
That pays for their housing, but it's still private property.
It's still private property, but last time I checked, when the government funds certain things, it becomes somewhat of a public thing. Yes, it is owned by a private management company, but this still has some tax-paying funds. And if the kids go to the Trinity School, which is $60K a year, I'm pretty sure their parents are contributing to this type of subsidy since it's going from the government. Some of them are getting Section 8 checks. I am very aware that gentrification is becoming very huge in New York City. A lot of people can't afford to live in New York City anymore because it's just getting crazy. But
let me throw this in the bucket, Sebastian, because you're trying to think this thing left. But let me throw this in the bucket. There are plenty of neighborhoods. And we'll roll with being subsidized or whatever by whomever, however, whatever, where you want to do it, right? There are plenty of neighborhoods and developments that clearly say you cannot park here because the parking is for the residents only. So if we're going to go down that road, listen, I go to New York all the time, right? If we're going to go down that road, Bianca, turn off your camera because I know you usually don't have it on before I bring you back up. If you're going to go down that road, right, let's be clear and say that there are many properties that are owned by the government that is taxpayers' money, and you cannot park there because it says parking is for the residents only. So it's no different to say that this park was built for this housing development and it is for the residents only. Because what happens now when some other kid that doesn't live there get hurt on it, right? The other piece of the pie is there's no bathroom there. So the people are just peeing and pissing everywhere, and it's not where you live. So you get to go back home to your nice little neighborhood, but peeing and pissing in my park. But if we got to use the bathroom, we can simply go upstairs to our house, use the bathroom, come back down, and carry on with flight. But you, because you don't got nowhere to go, because maybe you came with your nanny over here, and now you got to pee, and your nanny tell you, just go pee in the bushes.
Okay, let me finish to that. Okay. Space is very limited in Manhattan. I see some people mention, why can't the Trinity School build a park themselves? Where are they going to build it? Where are they going to build it? Two, this is probably the closest park to school, so therefore they spend some time there. They have fun. I'm pretty sure they probably play with the kids who live there and everything, and they're integrating. We should not be segregating people based off of social class. So what if some of them are rich and some of them live in this development? It doesn't matter. If it's open, it's open. It's an open development. You have the park open and everything. Let the kids play.
They close it up and they take it down. Now what? Good luck to you.
Well, then that's when they can get the government involved. These are
The
children.
government is involved, and right now the government said it's private property. Sebastian, I love you. I gotta move on.
Okay, no problem.
Trina, you up?
Okay, look, I don't care if it's subsidized, because people that live in subsidized housing pay full price. I know a lot of people that live in subsidized housing, they pay the full price of where they live at.
You better
So,
talk
I mean,
to Trina.
just because it's subsidized don't mean they ain't paying the full price. And even when you paying Section 8, you still paying some money out of it, because you have to have a job in order to be on Section 8. You got to have some income coming in. And the thing about it is, if these people getting $64,000 from each child at that school, then they should make a park where they can take the children to their park. Why are you coming to mines when it gets upgraded, and you causing all kinds of frictions when it's over there, when you can have a place for these children to go play on their own private property? Thing about it is, you out there peeing out there. Who want to go out there and smell urine? This is where I live. You come, you play here, but we stay here. And so, what if my child is out there, and who to say what if they leaving urine on the little toys or the little stuff out there, and they go out there and touch it? That's not right. The school should have made a decision. If we finna do this, then we need to put the money together so the kids could play. Don't wait until the housing project make the park right and make it looks good, and then you want to bring the kids over there and play. No, it don't work like that. I don't care if a person is on HUD. I don't care if they're on Section 8. They still paying money. And your thing, okay, they're paying money. So the school is charging those kids $64,000. So the school should make sure that the kids have everything they need on their campus. You shouldn't be going to nobody else's campus when you got $64,000 per kid. Everything that child needs should be on their campus, not across at the projects. Everybody want to come to the project and tear up their stuff and then go home and play on their nice stuff, or go around to the other park and play on their stuff. You want to come and destroy the project stuff because it's subsidized housing and they're living in the projects, and most subsidized houses that I see look better than most houses in the suburban. So don't come up and tearing up my stuff and you going back home to your new stuff. And I ain't got nothing against kids out there playing and all that type of stuff, but it got to be rules and regulations. I see a lot of subsidized housing. People comes out there that don't belong, they don't even stay in those apartments. They come out there and tear up the kids' swings. They have gunfights or whatsoever out there when they don't even stay there. So if these people do not set rules and set regulations on what can happen on their property, then they're going to have that problem as well. That's all I got, Diva.
You better talk to the people, Katrina. And listen, even when like if I live in a neighborhood with a certain why, I get the resident pricing. If I live outside that neighborhood and I want that particular why or whatever, I have to pay the outside pricing. Okay, so there are rules to everything. You got to follow the rules. Now I love all the kids. But if my kid that lived in this housing project wanted to go to the $64,000 school and ask them for a whole bunch of grants and all that, are they letting me in? Special K, you're up.
I agree with you on that, Deepa. I think it could be a meet in the middle with this situation. I mean, if they want the kids to come there and play, you charging $64,000 per child. You want those kids to go play at the projects, taxpayers, as Sebastian say, taxpayers playground. Okay. Well, have you ever thought about maybe you should offer some of those kids in those project homes or those subsidizing homes a scholarship to come to that school? I mean, you can meet people in the middle. You can offer them something as well as you getting something from them. You get the use of their playground and you get the use of their facilities as well, and they can get education. You can take 5 out of that complex. Take 5 kids out of that complex and let them go there.
Per year. Yep. Or
Okay.
something like that. You could do something.
I mean, if you can meet them in the middle, you shouldn't just feel that entitlement. Oh, they next to us and we can just go over there and play. Oh, they should let us come over there and play. No, we don't owe you nothing because we pay to live here. So therefore, if we don't want you over here, as you're saying, with urine all over the seesaw or whatever, or the monkey bars or whatever, the jungle gym you got going over there, then we have that right. You pay $64,000 per child per year over there. So find you a monkey bars, find you a little jungle gym, put it up in the hall, do whatever you got to do on the sidewalk. I don't care. But you can bring me something to say, hey, we gonna offer something to you all, so in use of your playground.
Hold on, Sebastian. I love you, but listen, you just said the park is across the street and the school is not responsible for the students. Then who's responsible for the students?
Their
The school?
parents.
No, the school is responsible for the students if they sending them across the street.
They don't send them across the street. They just keep.
Yes, they do for recess. For recess.
Yeah,
Hold
they
on,
across the street. Yeah, there's a thank you, Diva. So they are responsible for the children. The school is responsible. The school is responsible for the children until they get out at 3 p.m. or whatever time they get out of. They're responsible the same way that bus driver was responsible for getting that child out the bus. So the school is responsible for the kids. The school is responsible until that child
At
is
all
dismissed from
times.
school. Thank you. Until that child is dismissed. Other than that, that school is responsible for the child.
Listen, Trinity School got money. They can solve this. They can resolve this. Who was I at? My screen shifted a little bit. Who am I up to?
Me.
Tay.
Look at here. I said the school need to upgrade the park. Then we would have no problem with this PP on the old park right there. And I agree with, in my opinion, Special K and Katrina about this right here. This is ridiculous now. Come on now. Kids, they are kids. It's playground. Playground is for the kids. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. And this school goes up to the 12th grade. They got money.
They do. And 20% of their students receive financial aid.
Julius, what's the demographics at the school?
Hey, Diva, it wouldn't be an issue if they quit tearing it up, though. That's the problem.
That's the problem. And calling the people names and saying I can't play with you because you black. Julius,
So I have to say, if the kids are going over there for recess and it's during school hours, it's the school's responsibility, not the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Because school doesn't let out until the afternoon, especially in Manhattan. And so, yeah, it's the school's responsibility on top of the parents. But the school has fault here. You don't go... You don't encourage your students to desecrate private property. That's like if someone came to the school building and did whatever. It just doesn't work like that. So, yes, the school has a responsibility here, and the residents of that playground, because it is their private property, because they pay money for the complex, and that was the designated playground for their children. The residents have a right to speak out and let their land company or landlord know, hey, this is what's going on. We're getting sick and tired of it. And the landlord has every right to sue the school. Because it was just confirmed it was happening during school hours. The school is responsible. Especially charging students $64,000.
Diva, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
In this $64,000, what exactly entail are these kids getting? Because apparently they don't have a playground.
I'm trying to look because I'm looking. It looks like they have a nice swimming pool. I think they do have some stuff. I think maybe they don't have a lot of outside area. And I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to see what I could find out here. But they definitely seem like they got a nice swimming pool. The school ain't no joke. And it goes up to the 12th grade. So imagine if you have your kid in there from
So
kindergarten
it's
to
a charter school. It's a charter school.
No, it's not a charter school. It's a private school.
It's a private school.
Well,
It's a
private
private
school.
school.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so let me ask this question. So the apartment complex is off their campus, right? So it's not on their
It's
campus,
off their
right?
campus. It's not on their campus.
Okay, so that's another thing. That's another problem right there because before when my kids was in school and when I was in school, we couldn't leave out the property until my mom signed a permission slip. So you taking these kids out there and they going across on that property. We couldn't even leave out the property. We couldn't even go on a field trip unless we had a signed a permission slip. We couldn't even leave out the campus unless
They
they
got
call our
permission
mom
to
and tell
go
us
there.
that we
They
can
did
leave.
get permission to go there. So I'm sure they had to tell the parents. And I think it's like someone else said, it's not so much of it's a mixture of everything. One, you're filling it up and the residents can't even be there. Two, you pissing on the grounds because there's no bathroom. And three, you're being disrespectful to the people that actually live there. Let me go ahead and catch Julius, did you finish?
Even though it's a private school, the school is still liable for their students' behavior.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Julius. E, you're up.
All right. So I have a few things to say. Hello, Diva.
Hey.
Hey. This whole government being funded by taxpayer dollars, um, the whole government is funded by taxpayer dollars in one way or another. The White House is funded with taxpayer dollars, and they have a playground too.
Come on.
They do. They have a playground in the backyard. I don't see folks running down to the White House and demanding to get in and say, hey, my kids need a place to play right now. In a perfect world, kids would not be separated by social class. However, this is the way the four founders organized it. This is how they designed it ever since the white only pies. And I find it ironic, and I love my baby brother to pieces, but I have to say it. I find it ironic that, some of the same people who come up here windmilling for Trump earlier this week and last now have a different tune saying all kids have a right to play. Donald don't let people come to the Trump Tower and play. And if I remember correctly, Black people and brown ones too even filed a lawsuit back in the day for discrimination because he refused to let Black people live in his buildings.
Sure
Now,
did.
all of a sudden, Trump is the next savior per a la Moses and Mary Magdalene. Secondly, Katrina is correct. When the students arrive to school, the school is responsible for the students' actions until the students are released back into the parents' custody, either when the parents pick them up or the bus dropped them off to their nice homes or subsidized living wherever the tent under the highway, wherever they live. Last thing, it sounds to me like these kids don't deserve any recess. You're violating state laws and should be school ones too. Urinating in public, indecent behavior, divisive, aggressive, and antagonizing behavior. I will also classify that as bullying. And it sounds like to me these kids should be in detention. I don't understand this whole thing about recess. How can you offer recess if you do not have a gym? Send those damn kids to the library and let them read a book. Convert one of those health classrooms into a game room, let them do jump rope or do jumping jacks or stretch exercises in one of those rooms and open the window so they can get some fresh air. But they can't come outside. And clearly the parents didn't expect the kids to go to recess, because when the parents came to tour, because if this is a school that costs $65,000 a head, I'm sure the parents had to come tour. They knew that the school didn't have a gym. So the parents aren't expecting for these kids to go outside and play. I feel like this is somebody's way of getting the kids out of their hair for a moment and letting them tear up somebody else's stuff without them having to clean up behind them. And that's not acceptable.
I appreciate you, E. Thank you so much. Special K, did you go?
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
It's Bianca time. It's Bianca.
Bianca, thank you.
Okay, so
Oh, I lost you. Can everybody else hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Can
Okay.
y'all hear me?
Okay,
We can hear you
Bianca,
now.
you can hear you now.
Okay. So when it comes to the taxpayer funded programs, y'all know I work in property management. So when the government choose to work with a complex, it's exclusive. So I understand what you're saying, Sebastian, when you say that it's tax paid, but it's exclusive. So that doesn't mean that everybody in the world who's on government assistance can come to this place. No, only the people who we are connected with. Now, I literally just had an incident where we had a pool party for our residents and our gate was broken and people from the outside came in and a pow situation happened. That's terrible. And guess who those pow situations people were? So we can't sit up here and say that it should be open for any and everybody. No, that's not accepted.
It's not an open park, Sebastian.
Exactly, Bianca.
Yeah, it's not an open
So
park.
there's no barriers that are there, like no gates, nothing.
Oh, they have signs up now. They had to put them up saying this is for the residents only. Sebastian, you never saw, come on now, I know you have. You never saw signs where there's certain things that says for the residents only?
Of course I
There's
have.
signs here
But
even
there
where
wasn't
I
in
live.
for a long time. There wasn't for this case for these kids. There wasn't. Now there
The
is.
park just got beautified. So they wasn't worried about coming to the park before the park got renovated. So the park wasn't good enough for them for one moment. But once the park got renovated and it's pretty and everything, now they want to come. Can we do research there? Can we come there? Can we play there? Can we do whatever? So the park wasn't good enough before. They didn't have to worry about them before. But now that it's beautified, they're like, here they come.
I'm sorry, but
and then here they come to the beautified part to tear it up more than the people who are on government assistance.
You better talk.
So let's not sit up here and go along with this narrative. I can't do that because, like I just said, I just witnessed something detrimental. We had a pow out, and it was children in the pool, and I can't even freaking swim, and I'm jumping in the pool to pull children out the pool just to make sure that they weren't hurt.
Oh my gosh.
So we're not going to sit up here and go along with this narrative. No. If you're not supposed to be here, you don't need to be here. This is private property. Yes, we do recognize people who are on government assistance because guess what? You can be a good person and need help. But that doesn't mean that everybody can come up in here with your foolish mentality and your foolish behavior and mess up what we have going on here, because that's not the community that we provide. So I feel very strongly about this topic, and I'm not trying to come off too emotional, but this just happened, and I've never experienced this with children. I've experienced pow-pows before, but never at a pool party with children enjoying themselves and panicking in the water, and I can't even swim to help them. but I'm jumping in the pool to try to save who I can.
I'm so sorry you
this
experienced.
is something
to
that I
hear
can't
that.
let go. It's just wrong on any type of situation. If y'all paying $64K for y'all kids to go to school, then y'all should be able to have enough money to provide y'all own playground for y'all children. Don't
That
send them
part.
over here to be doing all this negative BS that they're doing. Don't do it, because then I'm gonna have a problem with you. Not you, Sebastian. I'm talking about the people. But then I'm gonna have a problem with y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Bianca. I
We
appreciate
love you, Bianca.
Yes,
I
yes.
love you too, sister.
Felicia, you're in the building. I'm glad you stopped through. What are your thoughts?
Thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. I'm guilty of long naps. But I never left my children anywhere where they weren't supposed to be.
Come on now.
Thank you so much, Deepa, for letting me up. I put a little clip there in your backstage. Many of you know that I'm up here in Northern. When I tell you Trinity is a little bit in my backyard, it certainly is. And there isn't anything that school isn't lacking. That school is ranked number 3 in the United States.
Good gosh.
Okay.
Woo.
For private school K through 12. I could tell you for fact that parents put their kids on the list to get into this school when they're in utero. Okay. And if the tuition was $85,000 a year, they would go on and pay that. So they have plenty of space. They've got over.
Look at this pool. Look at this pool.
Look at this school, folks. Let's you know.
That's my girl
love
Felicia. She
images.
bring the stats. That's what my girl Felicia. Come on, Felicia.
Sound like they just greedy.
So when we're talking about extra playground space on private property, these folks are infringing.
Come on
they
now.
have no reason to be coming over to engage on private property without the express permission of all the tenants and the management there that say it's okay. And I would not be surprised if they didn't have outdoor facility, bathroom facilities, just so they could make sure the kids wouldn't come over, that the school wouldn't infringe on this private space. Those tenants, those families cannot go across the street to go use their pool, their roof deck, tennis courts. They can't use their soccer courts. They can't use any of their volleyball courts, because they have it all. Diva didn't show it to you. From top to bottom, they have indoor and outdoor space. So this is probably a conflict that has been long standing. So many of these kids come in on buses, and you probably have to deal with a lot of traffic, a lot of noise, and the folks that pretty much have had it. I've heard a lot of folks talking about 64,000, and I'm going to tell you, that's cheap for Trinity. That's cheap. But the ones who can make that kind of investment, they do. Now, I was listening to Special K, and she said, well, perhaps we can reason together. And I appreciate that. You know, you say, well, you can come on over with the I think it's kindergartners and first graders, and we'll extend X amount of scholarships. I do happen to know that Trinity has programs that they invest in after school and summer, where many of the children in the neighborhood, regardless of income, race, ethnicity, nationality, can go to attend. But they are not an open enrollment. You don't just walk up and say, we want to go to school here. There is an entire admission process. So I not exaggerate when I tell you that these kids get put on the list to be considered when they are in utero. I mean it. And you want to get in there, you're going to have to fight good and hard. And it just so happens that they're in a very congested part of the city, but they have amenities for their kids all over. And I think this was a little bit too much privilege and entitlement, and they annoyed their neighbors. So they're going to have to figure out how to make peace with them, okay, and respect their private property. So Thank you, Diva.
Thank
And thank you, Tay. She let me come up. So I suggest everybody go ahead and Google Trinity School, number 3 in the country.
That's huge. That's huge. That's huge. Huge. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and share screen. We're going to go right into the feel-good story. And it's an interesting one. I want us all to see. It's very important.
For the past month, college graduations have been in full swing across America, cause for excitement, celebration, and for some grads, sticker shock because of student loan debt. Lilia Luciano has a crash course in $1 trillion dilemma.
Freddie Lee Williams Jr., cum laude.
Back in 2019, Freddie Williams Jr. had a lot on his mind at his college graduation.
That's when, it started really kicking in, like, hey, this is how much you owe. You're going to have to start paying this back.
Growing up on the south side of Chicago, he dreamed of going to Morehouse, the historically Black college in Atlanta that counts Martin Luther King Jr. among its distinguished alumni.
Once I got accepted and saw that, hey, the money is being offered, but didn't have an idea of, what I was really getting myself into.
And then at commencement,
we're going to put a little fuel in your bus.
Freddie Williams got the surprise of a lifetime.
My family is making a grant to eliminate their student loans.
When billionaire businessman Robert F. Smith pledged to pay the student loans for the entire class, clearing some $34 million in student and parent debt.
It was crazy, to look back and see my parents in the stands crying and celebrating, like that's when I knew, like, okay, this is big.
How big was your debt?
In total, it was around $125K.
Wow. That is a huge weight to be lifted.
Tremendous.
Total student loan debt in the U.S. is now nearly $1.8 trillion. And experts say many young people are delaying buying homes and starting families because of it. But the Morehouse class of 2019 is something of an experiment. What could lives look like when students graduate debt-free?
I think only now, as we get 5 years out, people realize the implication of what having no loans is. Like, you can buy a house right after graduation, which people we've interviewed, they did.
We do need a parent that took out loans. And
filmmakers Joshua Reed and Imani Rashad Soche are also part of the class of 2019.
Take one.
They're making a documentary about how their classmates are faring thanks to that generous gift.
Someone started a nonprofit to get Black and brown students into tech. Someone became a family man, like they have a daughter now.
Hey, this is what happened at Morehouse. They got the debt cleared and they were able to have this exponential effect. What happens when we clear the debt for millions of Americans?
Last year, the Supreme Court struck down President Biden's ambitious $430 billion student debt relief plan.
Supreme Court blocked me from relieving student debt, but they didn't stop me.
Since then, the administration has expanded existing programs to cancel $167 billion in debt, with most relief going to people working in the public sector and for nonprofits.
They're sort of doing these piecemeal fixes, but they're not doing anything to stop the underlying problem.
Josh Mitchell is the author of The Debt Trap. He says Congress created the federal student loan program to expand college access, but by allowing students and their parents to borrow virtually any amount to study virtually anything, the government has enabled colleges to raise tuition without consequence.
There's a cycle of students take out loans, schools raise their tuition, students take out more loans. That's essentially what's happened over the past 40 years. That's why tuition, up until recent years, has grown at sometimes triple the rate of inflation.
More than half of all college students now graduate with student loan debt, with the average owing nearly $30,000.
Now with all of this debt, how much is it impacting the economy negatively?
The U.S. economy is the world's biggest, most dynamic, in large part because of higher education. But you also have a lot of students who are not in default on their loans, but are devoting more and more of their paychecks to paying off debt. That's money that they could have been using to save for retirement or to buy a house or to even start a business. For the average student, there is a payoff for going to college, but I think that the problem is they're overpaying.
The cost of tuition has increased to a degree far greater than inflation. Why did that happen?
Colleges and universities obviously have to be good stewards, and we have to constantly look at our business model. But I will say this, we're in the business of human capital, and human capital is expensive. So when you think about investing in teaching, research, scholarship, those things are investments we have to make.
Nicole Hurd is the president of Lafayette College, a private four-year school in Easton, Pennsylvania.
We're really known for liberal arts and engineering.
She worries that fear of student debt is discouraging the lower and middle-income students who benefit most from attending college.
We're so fixed on the price, and we're thinking about the sticker shock of the price. We're not thinking about the long-term investment as individuals, as families, and as a country. If somebody goes to college, their children will go to college, their grandchildren will go to college. It changes everything.
Tuition and room and board at Lafayette is more than $87,000 a year. Though in recent years, the school has made efforts to offer more grants and fewer loans as part of its financial aid packages.
So we met their demonstrated need with a $39,531 of grant assistance.
Some debt is okay. A little skin in the game is not the end of the world. What we can't have is people have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of student debt. That's not okay. But the nonprofit sector in higher education is getting much better about being transparent about what debt is, and then making sure students and families make good choices.
Still, more than 40 million Americans have student loan debt, with 3.5 million owing more than $100,000. The average interest on that debt is nearly 7%. The average length of repayment, more than 20 years. It's why filmmaker Joshua Reed believes the story of the Morehouse class of 2019
First call for the class of 2019
needs to be told.
People are being crushed by the immense weight of this debt, but once it's relieved, they can go on to do all sorts of things.
How often do you think about what you don't have to pay in student loans?
Almost every day.
Freddie Williams Jr. was back on campus last month for the 5-year reunion of that lucky class. The 26-year-old software engineer says instead of paying back a mountain of debt, he gets to pay the gift forward.
Yeah, it was, bigger than just having my debt paid off. Because of that gift, I was able to buy a house, and with me buying the house, that allowed for my brother to move in while he's finishing his degree. And I know it, in my soul that I have to continue to give back and pass it forward.
For the past month,
Thought that was a great story, and I think it's also great that they're allowing that happened for that class of 2019, and I do remember when that happened. Listen, guys, it was a late night Sunday night thing. I just thought I was gonna have an express train ride, but it's okay. I think great conversations happened, and I'm so glad and always grateful that y'all spend your time with me. Is E still here? E, please throw the link to your channel in the chat, because many people are having trouble finding it. So just throw that in the chat for me. And listen, guys, thanks for being here. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you didn't hit it on the way in, hit it on the way out. Y'all need to stop cheating the diva, okay? Because I be working over here. I be working. And
I
if y'all
pay my ticket purchase.
thank you, Katrina.
I was the first one, Diva.
I
I
appreciate
pay my
you.
ticket, and I put in the chat, tell them to hit the like button to get their ticket. Come on,
I
y'all.
know
We got
y'all
this.
do. I know y'all support me. I'm so
And it's
grateful.
another thing with everybody listen. I'm not taking your time, Diva. But
You are.
in my opinion, y'all channels are pretty good. Your channel is good. I was listening to it today. It's good. Y'all got your
Yeah,
thing
I
going
made a
on.
video
You got
Hold on,
going on.
please stop. Thank you. So listen, everybody. E, throw your channel in the chat. In my opinion, throw your channel in chat. If you on this panel, you have a channel, throw it in the chat. I appreciate y'all guys. It's a late Sunday. I'm going on vacation next week, and I got to finish packing. But I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for everything. Good night and goodbye, everybody. If you didn't hit the like button coming in, y'all know the routine. Hit it on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
住在地方去睡的，出去